The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to Leadership Podcast. And of course, it's another edition of The Big Issue. And of course, we first of all apologize for that slight delay due to circumstances beyond our control. And without taking much of your time again, as usual, my name is George Zaba, your regular host. And of course, with me here in the studio, our in-house analyst, Silas Ezegu, and Tunde Oguntola.
Thank you.
And of course, the big issue of the day is the NDLEA and Antics of drug peddlers to evade arrest. Well, effort by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to eliminate the use of hard drugs in the country is beginning to pay off. 1 year after former military Lagos State Governor Buba Marwa took over the mantle of leadership of the agency. And of course, the country has witnessed a rejuvenated NDLEA whose operatives are everywhere, busting the out of drug peddlers. The latest being the tracking down and arrest of 6 persons selling drugs and noodles. Some of the drugs are used to be noodles, while some are being put in a local juice called Zobo. At the weekend, the agency bust their hideout and got them arrested. And on the big issue today, we'll be looking at the new antics of the drug peddlers to escape the long arm of the law within the backdrop of the strategy, the agency's intelligence gathering strategy. So let's start with you. See, we've been seeing the confrontational manner in which the NDLEA has been deploying intelligence gathering in tracking down the drug peddlers and the drug users with consummate strategy. And of course, that has gone a long way to show us that there is a new NDLEA in place. What can you say is the secret behind this renewed and fresh onslaught of drug users?
Thank you, Josh, for that question. But the fact is, yes, the Buba Marwa-led NDLEA is doing its best to halt drug abuse as well as the sales of the substance across the nation. But I think the fight is not yet won, owing to the fact that the menace and epidemic of drug abuse has led to an epidemic dimension. And it's so sad that even children, youths, young adults, as well caught in this web of drug abuse. It's now for, let's start with the North. Yes, drug abuse is now in everywhere in the country, both the Northwest, East, and South. I'll start with the North because it's a little bit more pronounced amongst Northern ladies. You see, I will start with an example. I was indoor with my friend, and a newly wedded lady joined us. It happens to be a neighbor. She's from the North. I won't call her name. So immediately she saw cough syrup being put on the table. She quickly formed as if she was coughing and asked for the cough syrup. And it was given to her. She rushed inside the house. And while we were stepping out, we saw the empty bottle of the cough syrup already at the trash.
Jesus Christ, you people didn't tell her the dosage.
Well,
I mean, she got everything.
she got it. And it was, we were very shocked, like, wow. Imagine if you were using a spoon, taking it 5 mil or 10 mil. This girl just got it and threw it off. This was a new wedded couple. The husband is our friend. And if someone who cannot tell that, bros, you just married a drug addict. You understand? So the menace of drug abuse is so bad, and
Well,
that's why emergency.
Tunde, before we proceed, it's like our guest we've been expecting has joined us. And of course, we are talking of the
Thank,
He's our guest today, and of course, like he's already on with us. You're welcome, Baba Femi.
thank you for having me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Well, it's like we're having some technical issues here where we can't even hear his voice. As soon as we get the voice, then we'll come back. Baba Femi. Our guest who is actually supposed to give us a side the activity of the NDLEA 1 year after the new health man,
Oh, hello, program.
a very important agency when with the war against drugs. Well, something Tunde.
Okay, just like I was saying, the men is now with us, living with us. That we need to do more to tackle this abuse. You see, the level of selling cookies, laden indomie with cannabis and other substances, as well as local thing called so are selling it in the public. Then in Abuja Center, what can we in the rural areas where people, you understand? The ladies who make cookies and sell within the neighborhood. Almost, in fact, they might not even know. They just say, please, if you are making my cake for me, add, they'll just give to these ladies making cake. And only to them, say, please, just arrange it for you. You understand? All the activities going on. Once these boys or young girls are eating this cake, we don't know that their parents have on teeth with them and they'll be eating cake. They don't know that they are indirectly taking consuming substance that is very dangerous to that.
And what be tell you, you go and meet them and say, please, I am hungry.
You know, so this is
Go and meet them and say, please help me that.
so
Well, before we go, I think it's like we're beginning to get the signal that we can link adequate with our guest. Well, Femi, Baba Femi, the idea and advocacy of the National Drug Law Enforcement. Well, we have some few questions. We see that the agency has really rejuvenated operatives of the NDLEA and now like canons who are charged with double cracks, tracking down drug dealers. Of course, we see them everywhere. What we say has been the secret of this renewed onslaught on drug peddlers. Well, we lost Baba Femi again, and you can continue.
So at the moment, for us to tackle was first to be like a social effort, like a social
Collective
campaign. Where if you notice that your supporter is into drug abuse, you just need to keep advising, not beating him. You just need to talk to him, engage someone who needs to counsel, so that you can keep him. So, and at the moment, we should even treat them like an offender. Yes, even though the caught up with them in where they are this substance, treated as a common criminal. rehabilitation center where they can talk to them. Why are you taking all this? There are so many issues in Nigeria. During the COVID-19, where there was lockdown, there are several people at home, and from the most of them, they lost their jobs. And during this process, they engage in drug abuse on their kinds of costs. Understand? Even if you check it during COVID-19, there are so many family issues where people just go to the nearest place, take your smartphone, and descend on his wife for any slightest mistake. So the government needs to do enough in terms of educating sensitization. The drug campaign, I must say, is just left for the institution where maybe perhaps you visit an institution and just say no to drugs. We need to do more. There's need to more campaign in the streets, in the towns, in major cities across the country for us to move forward.
Tell us what they are saying. Of course, we must really give it to the NDLEA. Recently, they have actually kind of charged with double crimes, tracking down these drug dealers. You stay in every nook and corner of the streets. And of course, according to the chairman of NDLEA, Obama, he said just within 1 office, 12,306 12,306 suspects and 130 billion naira cash and lots of drugs in trouble. What is in it? The arrest is not enough. The arrest of the peddlers. I think what is concerned here is the drug users. There will be no drug business. There are no people to buy drugs, to use hard drugs. What do you think, and how do you think the government can do in this direction? To see how they can the use of
it's going to need a coordinated effort. It's just not one way, not a one way. Job. So you need to have different aspects to it. Family, like you said, family watching out for children, and behavior. That was that are dabbling in substances like that. And then also you have to track the source of the drugs. If there are no drugs to take, there's nobody to take drugs. So how are the drugs moving? We've had seen NDLEA, posting both on custom NDA trying to uncovering containers and drug pouches being planted across the country. They've done a lot there. But the thing that people still have access to something that there are still other ways to not more to do to cut off the supply. Because if you want to cut off the supply, it significantly will reduce the people that have access to it. And the supply can both within and outside. That people importing those things, like tomato and coke, through the ports. They don't come to they don't expect them to fly private jets. Maybe some of them do that because job business is a multi-billion-dollar business. Some of them can be using drones. They go far in their plan. So it's up to those who are tracking them to think ahead too, not just to limit to pedestrian checks at the airports, which also use a lot of resources, and at the ports and co. Find out are there people who are importing those drugs from there with drones, with charter flights and co. The problem is that even the big men are into this drug business, and both are feel big. Many times the arms of the drug do not reach out to them. So the big men who are making money through drugs, and because of their status, it's not even easy for NDLEA to go and begin to check their private jets and their mansions for those things. They can only deal with the common ones that that work on the street and drive on the roads or country and so on. So those are an area there was a country, I don't know, Kenya or Ghana or one of these African countries, where a mayor, something on the rank of a mayor, was stopped in the street and they saw his cargo to feed the drugs. And then I said, like an Abuja, something like an Abuja mayor or FC minister, something like that.
Sounds like the mayor of London.
Yeah. Can you imagine a policeman in Nigeria stopping FC minister the minister of Lawmaker to check his vehicle whether he has
Because
drugs.
we won't say stop. Even if they dare stop, then you only see them throwing some.
And see whether they can get
They're
some.
expecting whether they'll get
And whether they can get some big
the honorable
a
minister.
piece of the cake. Because the thing that those guys also give them a piece of the national cake. So that's the problem. So they know this is right, but they're still limited by working environment where they operate. They need to. I want to commend Mara because it has said it seems that if nobody was there before he came. So like we had with NAFDAC. I can't remember who was there before
Dr.
Akunyele came on board. Even I was thinking about what's Dr. NAFDAC. The first thing that came to mind is like Akunyele. After him, there was the follow here and then this and that man. But once we talk NAFDAC, you remember? So this man is setting, putting his own name out there.
Yes.
Man. Bala has not been an excellent person. When he was in Lagos, the young person I remembered, I always followed his work in Lagos, and his candor, I don't want to say candor, his hands-on, the kind of hands-on experience that comes in the job. A young man, very vibrant and very, very ready to show that he wants to make a difference. And then, it's something that the way I see him, I've not met him one-on-one, but the way the person I have is somebody who will try to improve every situation he sees. He want to make a mark for himself so that this high standard he set in the past will be retained, against his name. So that whatever else Nigeria wants to consider him for the future, he'll be seen as somebody that is a high performer. So, when I saw him take the job, I was happy because at the time we have quite a lot of drug issues, tramadol and government time, but now we are seeing a frontal attack on it. I'm sure that they go at the best of their capacity, but maybe they need more institutional support to help us. We don't want the war easily, but we can reduce it.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, before we continue, let's just quickly take a break. Don't go offline. We'll be back in a moment.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 08.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Okay.
All right, you're welcome back to Leadership Podcast. And of course, we're still on the big issue in Leadership Podcast. And of course, the big issue of the day is NDLEA and antics of drug peddlers to evade arrest. We're talking of the efforts by the Buba Marwa-led NDLEA in tracking down peddlers. And of course, it has been paying off. We give kudos to the NDLEA for a job well done. And of course, we have been seeing the effort 1 year after. We're still expecting our guest, the director of the advocacy of the NDLEA, Mr. Femi Babafemi, And of course, I think it's also us again here in this. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, and thanks for having me. Can you hear me now?
Now we just want to get a little brief from you. We've seen the effort of the agency, the NDLEA, Peddlers. And of course, Nigerians have applauded the manner of intelligence in following them. And of course, what is being done in NDLEA has not been done before that we are positive background results.
Yeah. What? Can you hear me now?
Are you with us?
Can you hear me now?
So,
can you hear me?
What's been done differently in NDLEA that has not been done before that we are seeing positive results? Sir?
Yes. Very well. Thank you for that question.
Well, let's proceed. Well, we've lost them, but due to some technical hitches. Well, back to what we were saying. You see, most Nigerians believe that it is not all about arrest of peddlers. They believe that the drug users should also be contained. And of course, now when you think of it, you should know that most of these drug users are elite, prominent, influential, and very rich people in the society. Just like those who aid this drug peddling, and those who are at the helms of the business itself, just like Science pointed out. So now, how is the agency, or what do you think, and how do you think we can be able to wriggle out of this kind of mess? Children or big men are the ones even taking this job. Of course, you see the big men themselves. Politicians.
You see, if we can look at it, we get to understand that the menace of drug abuse is even far more dangerous than agency itself. Owing to the fact that we have more youthful population in the country. And owing to this, when more youths now tend to indulge in drug abuse, what is the hope for the future? Are we molding or coming up with a crop of leaders of tomorrow who are drug users, who abuse drugs? We just need to come up with strategy to tackle this menace head on. Just like the menace of drug abuse, it's multifaceted. It's that amongst the big men, their own drug abuse in clubs, house, and all the rest, even in golf club. You see, what they do is they go for the more expensive drink. You see somebody in the night buying a drink of 2 to 3 million naira, and they will pay for it. The young ones are looking, the bartenders are looking. They will also feel like, oh, if I should spend my salary of maybe 100,000 or 200,000 on drugs, I'm still on point because he is doing it. And by the time I get to his level, I will advance to the level of spending.
And they make this young ones look that is the norm. That if you have not started spending in that capacity, that kind of amount, then you don't belong to the society.
Then look at music videos
that fuel crime.
You understand? Look at music videos. You see people smoking cannabis. By the time the NBC, National Broadcasting Commission, censors such video, yes, they can't be played on the national daily, but they go to internet. These young boys and girls, they stream these videos online. They watch it. They get addicted. They see how people sniff opiates or all sorts. You understand? Look at the menace of Nkuru, where somebody take a substance and the next thing goes to haywire and misbehaving. Even there is a case that a young boy caught himself with knife after taking this. Yes, it's not in the news, but he won't even feel the pain at that moment. There's nothing you can do. Someone will take a like that. You feel it, and that's is methamphetamine or something like that. So this drug abuse is now with us. Despite this campaign, yes, look at the Southeast now. They are flogging them, beating them, trying to stop it. But can they? Who are those ones manufacturing this?
Who are peddling it?
You understand? Who are the middlemen? So now you can go online. The NDLEA need to step up because these people who sell these drugs, they are also online. They trade their business online and offline. You understand? They need to track it. Imagine someone sending a drug via DHL. Can they track it? yes, okay, this is a letter, please help me to send it to. This is DHL. How can DHL know that this is not a letter? It's drug.
It's job.
You understand? So the menace of drug abuse is with us, and we need to do more to tackle it.
Concern is true, because at the end of the day, if you not talk, this is a situation where even the leaders and the led are culpable. Why did I say so? You remember that the NDLEA under Marwa came out to say that henceforth that drug tests should be carried out for political office holders, politicians, and the rest, so that at the end of the day, we will know leaders that are into drugs too. And you now discover that from that, you should know that what the agency has discovered is that even among our leaders, there are drug addicts.
So,
How can we
the first institution that we need, the government, police, pass any police station around. Go, just take time and just go around police stations in some areas. You get the smell of Indian hemp.
I think this the officers themselves are the world really?
You know, just go around it.
Is it not the criminals?
Criminals that are now operating around police stations.
Understand?
You see,
You know, no reason my vote because it's a physical issue.
yeah, among
It's possible.
uniform people,
Hmm.
among uniform people, I've heard that drug use is commonplace. It's a part of
There is
their.
need for that campaign.
Of course.
So, and you don't expect, you're expecting to stop the civil population from the drugs when those who are government picking. Because what we're going to say when the public sees, someone in uniform, they see it as government. As government.
So,
And when these people are involved, who
You say
and two,
if so, then
they
why
also
can't
use
you?
them as escorts.
yeah, the money the person makes by escorting drug peddlers in one trip, they pay his salary for 10 years. So, that is a
And you keep shouting speed because
and pass. So see, these guys are very smart and they know how to get to where they're going. So it behoves on Marwa and his team. They're doing well, but the level at which drug use has gone means that they have to double their effort. More than they have to even for the way they apply technology
Yes.
more. Not just
Use of
because this
ICT
physical one will not
yes.
work. Because you have more technology, the people are trying to help, in the chase of drug peddlers. You are more likely to succeed than by using some of the more official what they do right now. So that's one. Another thing I want to mention about drug is that Tunde mentioned it. It's in case danger future. If the use of the country are idle and dispirited and depressed and they take the drugs for whatever they think have to meant to them, who are going to work for Nigeria in the future? By the time they go to pass away and it's their time, is it drug people that will work for the country to move higher? Now, I said something on the program sometimes. I said, we're not managing our youthful population for this country's development adequately. Now, if we go to other countries, you see how they prepare their youth, those who have skills in sports. From childhood, they put them in academies and train them up. If a child is productively engaged, in this case, those who are into acting, put them into acting schools. Those who are into no. So when you have these youths, right, engaged in productive ventures, skill acquisition, skill development. So they have skill like nobody is developing in space. You go to schools now, they know football pitches. I remember
pleasurable activities.
look at it. So the only thing that they feel pleasure is to take something that will make them high. But I remember in those days, you could go and play the tennis for 10 hours in a day. If you have finished your homework,
It goes
and the thing will improve your thinking and your brain.
goes a long
You
way.
read books.
It goes a long way to corroborate that saying that an idle mind is a devil.
Yes. In those days, we used to pride ourselves that you can read a novel in 24 hours. You have like 10 people, you have 10 books, 10 days, you read after 24 hours, hand over. If you are now they don't read, they just press their phone. The education has died. If people are engaged, that time it was the pride that you have read 10 books in 1 month or 20. I've read so those were what kept us busy when we were
Those
growing
days
up.
in secondary
Then
school, you see your
school
colleagues sitting
competitions,
down, cramming the dictionary so that
debating
they come and
competitions.
That was
debating competitions,
even talking
you
to
know,
woman,
quiz.
trying to win the interest of
Those are things that
kind of
don't
presentation.
but
But those things are
sadly, those things that don't happen in schools these days. So that's why, you know,
Instead, they had boys, had it.
that is
the
cultism.
level the
Those who
respect they
are
have
in this
is the level to which they see them.
it's serious, so it's serious issue because these are people who are going to command positions of society coming.
In future.
So how do you expect them to think about the country when they have such mindset? Two, the level of criminality in Nigeria could not have been this high if drugs were not involved. You think that this will who butcher people, tie them, and cut their heads off
They
today?
don't
Do
do
you think they will say, I?
No.
I spoke to a policeman,
insurgency.
you know, go to community, burn everybody, no care for my life. Now, I talked to a policeman
You need,
one
you need
day.
to suffer from psychogenic disorder for
Yeah.
you to have the kind of mind to do
Now,
that
I
kind of
I told the policeman,
react.
you know, at the time, the case was going on at the time. He said they caught some boys, and then they were. I saw some boys. He told me what they did. I said this person cannot do. This innocent. He said look, they were crying. He said that at the point they're doing it, they are so high that they don't know about anything. By the time the drugs wear off, they fell to drugs. They come to their senses and he see them as big lambs. So he found out that before they can do some of these things, to be high. So not to tackle crime like that, not to tackle drugs.
Thank you very much, Silas. And of course, I wish we had we were able to get through to the director of media and advocacy of the NDLEA, at least Femi Babafemi. At least he would have answered some of these questions. He would have even told us how the agency is planning to address these issues, including the one we listed. How they cope with the children of the affluent and who are into these drugs. Because
Boys.
and then also he would have even told us the extent to which they are born in implementing this idea that there must be drug tests for political
and even prosecuting the 12,000 they have.
Yes.
And then we don't have, we are
I
close
think
enough.
we will bring this issue again one day and address it well. We'll get him properly so that he will address Nigerians on some of these issues. Well, I think that is where we should draw the curtain for today's edition of the big issue. And of course, I will thank our in-house analyst, Silas, and Tunde for addressing the big issue the way it is. And of course, I will also thank our guests who made the effort to join us, if not for the technical issues we had. And of course, I thank our viewers for keeping tab with us out there. It was a wonderful one. And of course, join us same time tomorrow for another edition of the big issue. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.